10 months ago, mid of November 2023, I released video on the SwitchBot Mini Robot Vacuum K10 Plus. Now, almost a year or a bit less than a year later, there is a new robot in town. And this one is, again, SwitchBot Mini Robot K10 Plus, but this time Pro. Today we will be looking at, is it worth buying this robot, upgrading from K10 Plus to K10 Plus Pro, what are some of the things that have been improved, what has stayed the same, and what I wish would be better. We'll start in a couple of seconds. Before we jump into what's new with the Pro version, let's first look at why K10 Plus, in my opinion, is a really awesome robot. Not for everything, not for everybody, but it does fill a gap that I do not think any other robot fills. And that is Mini Robot. This one can go anywhere that normal robots cannot go. Yes, you can also find on AliExpress robots that cost around $12 that are even smaller than this one. But it would be really hard to find a robot as small or as compact as this one that packs so many features. Besides the small size, and the small size is really the killer feature of this robot also had auto empty feature, where after 60 minutes, 75 minutes or 90 minutes of vacuuming, it would go back to the dock, empty itself and continue vacuuming, of course if it doesn't also need to recharge. Unlike Aaron, my robot didn't try to commit any suicides, and while I do have two-story apartment, it never fell down the stairs. And it would be much worse since my stairs are open, there are no guardrails, and it would fall from around 2 and something meters height and would probably explode because of the lithium-ion batteries. So good for me, bad for Aaron. I said that this robot is not for everybody, and it's not for every occasion. And this also applies to the newer or updated version of the SwitchBot robot. If you have a very large apartment, this robot is small. Because of it, unfortunately, it will take some time for the robot to vacuum everything. If I remember correctly from the November of last year, it was targeted to apartments below 70 square meters or something like that. Don't get me wrong, since I received K10 Plus Pro, I moved my old K10 Plus to my father's apartment that has a really big apartment, and the robot still is capable of doing even big apartments. But it will take some time because size of the robot is small, so the roller is small, everything is small, and it needs to do multiple passes where, for example, standard size robot will only take one pass. So what are the new features of the K10 Plus Pro versus K10 Plus? There are some simple things, there are some more advanced things, and one feature in my opinion is killer feature, but I'm still not sure if it would be worth upgrading from the existing robot to the new one because of just that one functionality. This robot has improved vision. No, this one doesn't have unfortunately camera, it doesn't recognize the object, so if you have dog poop, dogs or cats or hamsters, it will try to vacuum everything. But that's also something that a lot of robots that do not have cameras have in common with it. So I'm also okay with it, and my dog now knows when to run, when he sees it. What is improved is the ability to detect walls. Previously it had a very small sensor on the side of the robot. Now this sensor is much bigger, better and a different type. Because of that, what it used to previously do is bump around the legs of the chair when it was circling around them. Now it just zooms through them like it's a racetrack. And that's a good thing, and it also speeds up the vacuuming process. But there are also some other upgrades that are not as visible as this one. As I said, this is auto-emptying robot, meaning that whatever dirt or hair or whatever, dog food in my case sometimes, it scoops into internal storage, temporary storage, it then poops it all out into the dust bag. And the bags that now arrived with the robot, but that are also sold separately if you need spare, are antiseptic dust bags with better filtering, so there is even less chance of particles going out from the robot to the dustbin and then back to your air. And that's a big improvement, especially for all of you that, for example, have pet, small kids, or somebody that is allergic to whatever particles are now in the air. But besides the side and the front upgraded sensors, besides this dust bag, there is also one big improvement, and that one is brush. The brush has been replaced, remodeled, redone, and it features now anti-tangle rubber brush. Previously, every couple of weeks, because I do also have I do have kids, daughters with long hair, the problem was that the brush was always covered in that very long hair. Imagine Rapunzel multiplied by 2 and you can just imagine how much hair I had. With this one, I do not have as many problems as I had previously. It's very easy to remove. I do not need to use included knife to cut it, scrape it or do whatever, untangle it from the brush. It just now easily peels off and that's it. At the time of the release of K10 Plus, Matter was not available for that vacuum. But in the meantime, we received the firmware upgrade for both the robot and also the SwitchBot Hub 2, which is needed, either SwitchBot Hub 2 or SwitchBot Mini with Matter support, to enable Matter functionality. And that one, unfortunately, is not perfect. This is something that I really wish will be improved in the future, and I'm not sure where the fault here lies. Is it the fault of the SwitchBot and the Matter implementation, although I do not think that that is the issue, or is it somewhere in the Matter standard? If we, for example, look at the Home Assistant where I've added this robot, we can see that we have a robot available here, but the only option we have is to either send it to vacuum to whatever area it thinks it needs to vacuum, and also return it to dock, meaning that if I tick this switch, the robot has started to go and vacuum wherever, and when I tick the switch once again, the robot tells me that it is going back to the docking station for recharging. And that is something that I really wish would be improved in future, but I'm not again sure if this is due to the Matter standard, the implementation of the vacuum inside the Matter, or the implementation of the standard in the SwitchBot devices themselves. I really would love to be able to start the area or a room cleaning, not just send it and do whatever. If we compare the size of this robot with K10 Plus, the size is the same. It is 248 millimeters, which is again the same size as the previous model, and the height is only 92 millimeters. Because of that, this robot really does what it says. It can go under the office chairs. In my kitchen, it can go under the elements and clean up everything. There is no space in my apartment where this robot is not able to go, collect all the dust and dirt, and then empty it in the emptying bin. And with the improved wall sensor, it works even better because it goes more snugly against the chair legs, the walls, the bookshelves, etc., while still not hitting them as much as it used to hit them before. Besides Home Assistant, in my apartment I also use a lot of SwitchBot products. I have hubs, I have temperature meters, both the old ones, the new ones, curtains, blinds, everything is controlled by SwitchBot. I also have those dual door sensors for the door window if they are open or not with a button. Again, a lot of SwitchBot devices, and this one pairs nicely. And if you would, for example, go with only SwitchBot ecosystem, you would not be doing anything bad. Remember that I still recommend this one more for the apartments than for the houses, or if you have house, to have at least one on each of the floors, because of the speed of the vacuuming. Again, speed is good, the suction power is awesome, but the size of the robot is very small. So if you have a lot of floor that you need to cover, this one may not be for you. The next bad thing about this robot is it doesn't have mop cleaning. It doesn't have a water tank for mop cleaning. You can attach the supplement and use the napkins, wet napkins, to clean the floor, but to be honest, I just use them for testing, and they are even not actively advertised anymore. Sure, for example, if you have a small corridor and you just want to wipe it with the wet napkin, it should be perfect, but don't consider this device to be a mopping device. If you want something better, bigger, that has a much larger mopping capabilities, you should go for the SwitchBot S10. That one is a monster of a device that can be hooked up directly to your sewer or plumbing to collect both clean water and dump the dirty water, and it will automatically wash your apartment like it was washed never before. Plus, there is also one new product that will be coming on the market very soon. That product has started to be advertised today, but it will officially launch, I think, in 2-3 weeks, and that is the humidifier. And then buying combo of S10 with this humidifier that has auto-fill capability, where the robot can pick up the water, refill the humidifier, wash the floor, pick up your kids from the school. That's a good machine. This one is a small robot for the apartments, and if you live in a small apartment, this is definitely a robot that you should consider. But back again to the question I had at the intro of the video, is it worth upgrading from K10 Plus to K10 Plus Pro? Dimensions of the robot are the same. Cleaning coverage is the same, but there are improvements in the cleaning because of the additional or better side sensor, so it can now better detect walls, gaps, furniture legs, and also room corners. In terms of obstacle detection, previously we had just front bumper and LDS radar. Now we have LDS radar and also PSD distance sensor. And this PSD distance sensor helps robot navigate much more quickly between the legs of the table and also chairs. In terms of the vacuuming, because these are the smart vacuums and this should be top priority for device to work well, how it should work, we have better suction power, and I also mentioned the new brush. Both of those can be a deciding factor if you are just now considering to go either with the K10 Plus or K10 Plus Pro. The size of the auto-empty collection bin or bag is still the same, 4 liters, but I did mention that we now have antibacterial dust bag. In terms of connectivity, we have Apple, Google, Amazon, and of course Matter, which also enables us to get it working inside Home Assistant. But don't expect miracles, you will only have option to send the robot and then get it back to recharging station. The installation of the device is very simple, you just take it out of the box, you hook up the side brush to it, which does take a bit of force, but it's also great. You remove 2 phone bumper protectors or whatever, open the robot, the upper plate is held by 2 magnets, turn it to on position, and more or less the robot is ready for pairing. You press and hold the home and clean button for a couple of seconds, and it will indicate you by voice and also tone that the Wi-Fi configuration has started. In the SwitchBot app, and you do need SwitchBot app, then you just select that you want to add new device. I selected K10 Plus from the list of devices since Pro was still not available, and it did find it in a couple of seconds. It exchanged the credentials between the app and the robot for my Wi-Fi network, and more or less this is it. Select position for the dock the robot there, and then in the app just press the button to start creating a map. There are 2 ways to do it, and I prefer to do it one way. The other way may be better, but I'm not that patient guy, so I always go for the first one, and that is quick map creation. What it does, it just browses and drives through your apartment, in the rooms, between the legs of the furniture, and it creates a rough map of the space. And that map is okay for you to start dividing the space. But after that, when you for the first time start the robot and send it to do a complete cleanup of your apartment, it will update the map will be more precise, and then you can once again rearrange the rooms, add borders if you want, no-go zones, select carpets, etc, etc. I am biased towards this robot, because I did previously, or I still have, Roborock S5, as far as I remember, something, but K10 Plus was my daily driver. I created a routine so that each night it would go into the kitchen and vacuum the kitchen. It took around 30 minutes to do double cleaning, because yes, you can also for each specific room select what options you want there, how many passes, how strong the vacuuming should be, or how noisy or quiet it should be. So you program everything, create a schedule for specific date, and it just goes out, cleans, returns to dock, empties, and repeats it every day, 2 days, or whatever schedule you do create. And as I said, Unlike Roborock, which was never, ever scheduled to do any task, this one really was my daily designated robot vacuum that was used each and every single day. So is it worth buying? As I said, if you live in an apartment, not that large, not 200 square meter apartment, I really would recommend for you to consider K10 Plus Pro, especially versus K10 Plus today, because it does have some upgraded functionality that the previous one didn't have. And also, currently you can get it for much lower price than at the end it may be selling for. But is it worth upgrading? In my opinion, no. If you already have K10 Plus, yes, the new one is better in terms of the navigation, better in terms of the brush, better in terms of a lot of things, but I still do not think it is worth buying or replacing your existing robot that is less than 1 year old. You already have some big robot from the Roborock, SwitchBot or whatever. This may be your companion robot that you keep, for example, in a kid's room or near kid's room, or have a designated space that this robot goes and cleans specific areas. This robot is excellent, for example, if you have a dining room. It can go between the chairs, it can go under sofas if you use living room, it can go anywhere and it can pick up a lot of dust, do it quickly, do it safely, and then dump everything in the dustbin. But again, this all depends on your use case, your apartment, money you want to spend on it, and also, do you have a lot of furniture where the standard robots cannot go? And if yes, then this robot may be a good robot for you. The only problem you may have is the price tag. This is 600 euros for this robot, and it is currently 180 euros off, so you can get it for around 420 euros. In my opinion, 600 euros is a bit steep, but I know that SwitchBot always have some kind of discounts, some kind of codes that you can use and get a better price. For 420 euros, this is really okay price for the robot and for whatever you get. But as I said, this robot is not for everything. If you are looking for a larger robot, don't forget to check out the SwitchBot's premium robot, and that one is SwitchBot S10, the premium one that costs 1100 euros, but currently with the discount it is around 800 euros. But as I said, this one is a completely different beast. I really do hope that you did find this video interesting, and if you did find it interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. This will tell YouTube that the video was good and that more people should see it. And while you are already there, check that you are subscribed. If not, hit on the subscribe button so you don't miss on the future videos and of course my streams. And before I end up the video, I really would like to say thanks to all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, shared, commented or liked my videos. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member for only €2 or $2 per month. Or you can go to my merchandise store and get something there. Last but not least, you can always send me super thanks and I will be super thankful for that. I will be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.